I believe a lot of you have seen that Hifiman is on the rise because of their really great products such as Sundara and the Edition XS, also their Bluetooth headphone, the Deva Pro. And personally, I have to say that amongst their latest release, my personal favorite is the Sundara 2020 Pad Revision. But this time I will review their cheapest headphone at only around $100 only. And remember, this is from Hifiman, a really well-known planar headphone maker, and also it's definitely a planar headphone. So hello and welcome to Aftersound Review, and this is my review for the Hifiman He400Se. And first of all, thank you for Initium Indonesia for sending me this review unit, and they are priced really cheap for the planar headphone. If you take a look at Hifiman's own website, it is cost only around $150, and right now when I'm reviewing this, it is on discount and it costs only around $109. So it's really cheap. I mean, only $100 for having a full-size open-back planar headphone. Okay, just like usual, I will break down this review from the build, fit, and sound. Build-wise, it doesn't feel really special. You can see that the grill here, it's made of metal thing. It's made of metal, of course. And then the ear pad, it's the cup. The cup itself is made of plastic, and it's a really shiny plastic. Personally, it feels and it looks cheap, this ear cup. And then the hinge part, this part is made of aluminum. And then the headband itself is thickly covered, it's thickly padded with metal inside, so you can bend it like this. And the hinge is quite secure for me. You can swivel them a little bit like this. It's not totally unbendable like the Sundara. So for me, actually, this is the latest of their headband versions, just like the Hifiman Edition XS and also Hifiman Deva Pro. For me, it's more comfortable than the Sundara or the Ananda has. And the cable itself feels quite thick, and even though it feels a little bit rubbery, but it's quite flexible, and for me they feel quite good. And the ear pad here, so it's an angled ear pad. You can see that the back side is thicker than the front side here. And then the material itself, this part, the outer material, is made of protein leather or synthetic leather, whatever you want to call it. And then this part is made of kind of, you know, kind of velvet kind of thing, so it's not totally a smooth fabric, and it gets a little bit hot sometimes. And then the inner side, this part is made of protein leather, but it's perforated, so you can see some holes here. I hope you could see them. Yes, it's perforated. And when it comes to fit, I feel that when it comes to the headband and also the ear cap itself, it feels really good. I mean, the weight is simply, it's light, so I don't mind using them for hours. And it has some not really strong clamping force, but it stays secure in my head. But the thing that I feel that a little bit uncomfortable is maybe because it's using kind of velvety kind of material on the ear pads. It's really different than the Deva Pro or the Sundara or the Hifiman Edition XS that I've tried. It feels the hottest one on my head, but if you're using air conditioner anyway, it's still okay, but it's just noticeably a little bit hotter. But other than that, I have no complaints. Okay, when it comes to the sound, I have tried them using my i5 Zen AirTag, or also the iBasso DX160 of VGSP1 and Helix 5K. And for me, even though they cost around 100 to 150 bucks, at first I thought that it's quite cheap for open back headphone, and I hope I could drive them using my phone. But apparently no, they are definitely quite hard to drive, that you need some a little bit more powerful device to drive them, such the Zen AirTag or the iBasso DX160 are already good, but through your phone, for me it's definitely not a good idea. And for me, for the sound, it's definitely like a younger version of the Hifiman Sundara and also the Hifiman Diva Pro, because it definitely has the same kind of tonality, but it's definitely cut down in the technical part. So, and also the finesse of the sound is definitely different. It sounds more harsh and more unrefined compared to the Hifiman Diva Pro or the Hifiman Sundara. But thankfully, that kind of really well balanced neutral tonality that I find in the Diva Pro and a Sundara, it stays in this Hifiman He400Se. From the bass itself, it's a very well controlled bass that you could sense that it has quite deep and also controlled speed, but it's not for bass head. I assure you that it's not going super reaching deep into the sub bass, and it doesn't really punch you in the face. It just has this kind of okay bass. For me, it's still well controlled and I have no complaint though. And when it comes to the mid-range, it's still a really well balanced mid-range. Whether you throw female or male vocals at them, it will sound really well balanced, and also the piano and guitar sounds really well balanced too. Not being overly thin or overly thick for me, the mid-range balance is quite spot on. But here's the thing, because of the texture itself, it's not as natural, it's not as smooth as the, like I said, the Sundara or Hifiman Diva Pro. It is noticeably quite harsh in some recordings. For some examples, like older songs, older Michael Jackson songs, it sounds noticeably more harsh and easily more prone to sibilance rather than this Hifiman Diva Pro here, which is considerably like, it definitely has the same kind of tonality but safer. It's more natural in sound, it has better texture and much better detailed. But yeah, again, the tonal balance is really similar. It's just the texture and also the finesse of the overall tonal, it just makes them really different from this Hifiman He400Se. But for me, let's say again, the Diva Pro and also Sundara cost around $300, while this headphone costs around $100 only, so it's almost triple the price, so you must note that. And also the treble, like I said again, this is the most unrefined one, even though it could reach really high notes, and the extension is quite good, the airiness is there, but the timbre and also the smoothness, it just feels quite harsh, and the timbre could go quite metallic in some older songs. Yeah, like when I'm trying to hear Bon Jovi songs in here, definitely the guitar and the cymbals feels quite metallic and not really natural. But that being said, again, the tonality is what I really like about this Hifiman He400Se. It is still a really well balanced headphone, and also the technical is, yeah, it's, I should say, around $100. I think there's no competition in this area. It's definitely the best that I've heard. But here's the thing, if you have money, if you have around $300, no need to buy this headphone. Just save more and then you just go buy Sundara. For me, that's simply a better choice. It's just a little bit, maybe Sundara is a little bit more stiff because of the headband and hinge. But when it comes to sound quality, for me, they need the same drive power to drive them. But Sundara, for me, it's definitely much more cleaner and also more natural in overall timbre and experience. But nevertheless, when it comes to price alone, for $100, if you have a quite powerful source, this is definitely one of the best, if not the best headphone that you could buy. I think that's all I could say about this Hifiman He400Se. It is still a really well made headphone, especially for the price point. Okay, I think that's all I have to say. See you next time and bye bye.